Okay, we have time for a couple of questions. Where's our roving microphone? Do we have questions? Eileen, here, right down here, about four steps down.
Those were fascinating. Thank you very much. Can I just ask Professor Lee, are there any spiritual consequences of the ritual being translated?
Spiritual consequences?
Spiritual consequences.
Signs of progress.
What do you mean? Is it?
Lose its value once it's secret, and then you translate it so everybody can get to it.
Oh yes, everyone can do incantations. So yeah.
Are there any implications of the secrecy being extended of the work your student is doing? Does it enhance or does it threaten in any way the efficacy of the ritual?
Is it okay if I?
Oh yeah. Yes. So.
What I've been told about this is that the understanding by practitioners is that when they're reciting the incantations, they're calling upon divine beings, so they're using the names which are considered to be divine. So therefore there's a bit of a taboo, and also some of the passages are in code. It'll appear as though it's Chinese, but it's actually meant for a Korean pronunciation. So in some cases there are secret meanings which are interpretive and may be interpreted different ways.
So nowadays, I think that the translation of all of the incantation is the first, translated into English by the Jason Greenberg. So I never saw that the translation of the incantation in English before.
So who knows what may happen now?
Yeah.
Another question. Okay. Rosita?
Thank you again for the presentation. It's very interesting. It's the question about the word using mind. When you say mind, you mean brain? What is mind in your?
Oh, I see.
In your definition.
To me?
Yes.
Okay, mind can be interpreted in two ways in test and thought. I mean, the first interpretation can be that the human mind is like a heart mind. Okay, so the 70% of the Tesun scripture dealt with mind can be interpreted as a heart mind. But in some case, for example, 20 or 30% of Tesun scripture, there is a saying that mind is quite important in directing something or something like that. And in that case, that's a brain, something, yes.
Related to that question, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Just a footnote, I noticed in my many years dealing with Koreans that they often point to their chest when they talk about mind.
Yes,
whereas
yes.
Westerners point to their head.
Right, right.
It's the same problem in Weixin Shenjiao, that it says mind only, but they really mean the heart. In the West, we will say the heart, sometimes they say the mind, which creates a lot of misunderstandings.
Sometimes
so it's very valid contribution by that.
Yeah, sometimes it's translated into the English like heart mind, or just a Korean pronunciation sin or mom. Yeah. So it's very difficult to translate it into English now.
Okay, thank you. And related to that question, I'm wondering if you could explain a little better or a little more to me the correlation between the human and the divine that you're making that come together, is there a separate kind of soul between the two, or a separate kind of mind? What are they, different entities? Do they know each other? What is the relationship between that divine and the human that you're bringing together?
Okay, in Tesun theology, there are two kinds of the deities. The first deity is nothing to do with human beings. I mean, they are independent human beings. I mean, in the external cosmos. But the second type of the deities, we think that there is some affinities with the human beings. For example, if your father has already passed away, then we think that he becomes to the spiritual world. So he is a member of the spiritual beings. So what we say is that 돌아가셨다. 돌아가셨다 means that we turn back, we return to our original home. I mean, so what we say is that death is like kind of returning to the original place, something like that, where the soul belongs. So if the soul comes to the human world, we just becomes a human, because we have a kind of a human body, right? But if we just goes away, then this spirit goes up to the heaven and belongs to that place. So in that way, there is a relationship between the human beings and the spiritual beings. And the other interpretation is that, as the professor the back there talked about it, we think that the enlightening spirit is dwelling in us. I mean, like Sanctus Sanctum. Like, for example, if you just go to the Solomon's temple, there is a most important shrine place, right? The most important sacred place in Solomon temple. So there are some interpretation in 소강절 or in Jushi, or a lot of Korean scholars like Yeoju in Korean philosophy saying that those human body consists of two parts. One is a part coming from the heavenly nature, and the other part coming from the earthly part. So it makes one as a human form. Does that answer your question?
Can I add
Okay.
one quick word that for Christians here, I believe Jason said it very nicely. It's important to understand that gods are not omnipotent and they have a lot of problems of their own. So they had to petition the supreme God to help them. Humans have grievances, but also gods. So it's more similar to the Greek and Roman religion than to Christianity. Because I believe a key for understanding the presentations by our Korean friends, it's gods are not omnipotent and they have problems of their own should be solved, and in this sense they are close to humans.